Right, it hates, it loathes. Loathes means doesn't like. Loathes dryness. Kidneys loathe what kind of temperature?
Cold.
Cold. They don't like cold temperature. They control the opening and the closing, as we said, and they control strength and skill. Okay? Now, often the Chinese call the external, kidneys, just to let you know, testicles in men and ovaries in women. Okay, so just know that. And that's because the kidneys control sexual and reproductive function. They also provide the body's libido, okay, or sexual activity, vitality. And the Chinese actually look at that and look at someone's sexual life and look at that as, is that person healthy? Okay, but again, they also know how to maintain the balance. And if you have too much sexual activity, then that'll totally deplete you, and later on in life, like if people masturbate too much, later on in life that could lead to prostate cancer and things like that. So everything in balance and in harmony, okay? Now, we also have the minister, what?
I was just going to say, I'm not going to eat eggplant, I'm not going to eat salt, so I can have
Okay. We have the gate of life. The kidneys also have the gate of life and the minister of power. And it's regarded as the body's most important reservoir of energy, of essential energy, okay? Unlike the other organs, here we have both water and fire in the body. So the primary yin and primary yang. Now in TCM, you know, you have, what shape is our kidneys? It's like a bean shape.
Of a bean.
Right, bean shape. But it also has what on top of it sitting on it, a little hat,
Adrenals.
which are your adrenal glands. Now these secrete what?
Hormones.
Right, a wide range of essential hormones that regulate metabolism, okay, excretion, immunity,
Growth.
sexual potency, and fertility. So if there's some destruction or overexertion of these, then it'll really cause some imbalances if someone does want to get fertile. So we have to make sure that that's taken care of. Yes? Okay. The adrenal glands are found on which thoracic vertebrae?
T12.
T12, good, on vertebrae. And they receive their blood supply from the,
Kidney.
yeah, okay, from the adrenal arteries. We're going a little bit into Western because I just wanted you to have an idea when you're kneeling, because a lot of people are not getting their back shoe points right. So just remember what you're looking for when you're around UB23, okay, which is your back shoe point for the kidney. Okay, good. Well done. Okay. When we talk about kidney as having willpower, what does that mean? When the willpower is strong of somebody, what does that mean?
It means your kidney is strong.
And what else will be strong? You'll be focused, you'll be clear, sharp, goals will be clear, your path will be evident.
You will be empowered.
Empowered, good word. Now, if your kidneys are weak, what would happen? Insecure, lack of motivation, no focus, concentration,
Lack of concentration.
fear, right? Right, because that's the emotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I mentioned to raise energy for willpower, and when we're talking about, when we're speaking more about emotional or psychospiritual issues, I told you that the second line of the urinary bladder on the back is something that we would use more, okay, or we would also use, because generally speaking we don't use the second line very much. But for emotional matters, psychospiritual matters, I would invite you to try using them. Also, intention is very much needed, okay? But generally speaking, the Chinese feel that the second row is related to psychospiritual, psychological points. And for willpower, I would do UB50 2, which is 3 tsun lateral to do 4, which is the second vertebrae, yeah? And then just combine it, because we're talking about willpower. GB, gallbladder, is also about courage, so combine it with some points for courage. Again, make your intention clear around those points, because you'll get an effect whether you have intention or not, but it'll be that much better with the intention. Okay, so you were quite right in saying that the emotion for kidney is fear, and where we would say one pees in their pants, right? One pees in their pants. But we also have, if there's excess fear, that can lead to paranoia, okay? Paranoia, which is, total lack of clarity, okay, and willpower. Now, as with the other organs, we have related syndromes, okay? And we have quite a few with kidney. Kidney yin deficiency, kidney yang deficiency. Kidney not grasping qi. If kidney doesn't grasp qi, what do we get? Leakage, spermatoria, dribbling, chronic vaginal discharge. What else? Kidney, next category, kidney failing to receive qi. So lung sending down the qi, and its kidney is failing to receive the qi. So you would have asthma. And the difficulty where, exhalation or inhalation? Inhalation, right, good, well done. We would have kidney essence deficiency, okay. Then we have, if someone has dry eyes, scanty menses, or amenorrhea or something like that, or 5-centroid, what would you call that? You would call that kidney plus what? Liver, yin deficiency, good. Now if you have kidney and heart not communicating, what would some of your main? Palpitation. Which one?
Night sweating.
Night sweating, okay. Insomnia, night sweats, great. Okay, and if the kidney and lung are both yin deficient, kidney and lung yin deficiency, what would you have?
Dry cough.
Dryness, right. So you'd have dry cough. You could have bloody sputum, okay, and just cough. And finally, kidney and spleen yang deficiency. So spleen yang means that you'd have cold or you'd have heat. What does it mean?
You'd have cold.
Right. And generally speaking, when the spleen is cold, what manifests? Diarrhea, right? Diarrhea in the abdomen. So you'd have pale, loose stools. You could have morning diarrhea or the cock's crow at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. has to do with what organ? Large intestine, but related, yeah? And you can have a puffy face and leg edema.
So kidney weak essence, what did you say you'd have?
What do you think you'd have? Because essence is related to what? Growth, right? Fertility. What else? Marrow, brains. What else? Which one? Teeth, right? Okay. Now, just finally, the psycho-emotional aspects of the kidney. In the Suen in chapter 8, it says, creation of power are said to be derived from the kidneys along with skill and ability. Okay, so the kidneys represent the origins of life, as we know, related to essence and the original qi, meaning the same thing. Okay. The invisible beginnings. And if you are healthy in that realm, skills and ability will come naturally to you. Sometimes if you see someone and it's not happening, then to the Chinese doctor, they're going to say, something wrong, or something not balanced, or something not nourished, whether it happened in the womb before or after, with kidney essence, okay, and with kidney. Okay. The psychospiritual aspect of the kidneys is the ZHI, which represents the capacity for roots, grounding, being able to follow through, endurance, the ability to, what's the yang, to move forward, to initiate action, And yin is what? The ability to,
See through. Deeper.
yeah, good, okay. So we have yin and yang, kidney is life and death, okay, because we have both kidney, okay. And the emotion linked to the kidneys is fear, withdrawal, paranoia at its worst, okay. So we can go very deep in this because a lot of people have this fear of immortality, right? So it can go very, very deep. But the key virtue of the kidney would be
Wisdom.
wisdom, 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 wisdom. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about the Minister of Fire, the Gate of Life. Now, some consider the left kidney to be with the bladder and the right kidney to be the Gate of Life. However, that was a long time ago, probably before the Ming Dynasty, but after the Ming, M-I-N-G dynasty, the Gate of Life was thought to be an entity residing between the two kidneys. Okay, this is the Ming Man, the Minister of Fire, the Gate of Life. Okay, so remember with the kidneys we have both fire and water. Okay, so here you have the left kidney, here you have the right kidney, and in the middle, between them, you have the Gate of Life or the Minister of Fire. Okay, so the Gate of Life is the embodiment of fire, not water, fire, between the two kidneys. Okay, so the kidneys are water, and between them you have this special type of fire that can put out fire and also produce water. Okay. Everybody clear? Okay. So let's look a little bit about the functions. Gate of Life does what? Warms, right? That's the first thing. Warms the lower jiao and the bladder. The function of the lower jiao is to, what does it do? It transforms and excretes fluids with the assistance of the bladder. So we need heat to do what? For the transformation process, okay? For the transformation process, you need heat. If the heat is weak, okay, then what will result?
Lack of transformation.
Yeah, and which results in dampness, right, or accumulation of stuff, or edema. Okay. Now, the kidney is, and this Gate of Life is related to the organs because we need it for the stomach and spleen. For what purpose?
Yang deficiency.
No.
No.
Why do we need
To transform.
to transform, again, for the TT function, right? Because it's essential for the function of the spleen to transform and transport and separate. If this fire is weak, then there will be cold.
Yeah.
So you don't have, if you don't have warmth, you won't have warmth, then you'll have cold, which leads to what?
Dampness or demons.
Fatigue and all of the spleen functions, okay? So you need to be able to explain why. So don't just go straight to the symptom, but know how to explain why, okay? It's, again, remember what I said yesterday. This is so simple. It's common sense, but when you have to, there's just so many little intricate things. Okay, let's talk about sexual life and function. Okay, so if the minister fire is yang, Okay, it's warm. And it helps with libido, sexuality, performance. You might have libido, but no, yeah, right? Or you might have great performance, but no fertility, right? So fertility. So, and also even menstruation depends on this fire. Now, if, again, if you are weak in this area, what's going to happen? Yeah, causing infertility, lack of libido. We won't have a population anymore.
Shortness of preference.
Sterility, impotence.
Yeah.
Impotence, okay? Got it? Okay. So, when we're talking about the lungs, what happens, why do we need the fire to help the lungs? For what purpose? Because it assists, the warmth assists the kidney function to receive qi. Right? If you're cold, things contract. So the warmth helps it to, right, exactly, okay? Assists the reception of the qi. Okay, there must be communication between the gathering qi. What's another name for gathering qi? Between the zong qi, right, of the chest, and the original qi of the lower jiao. Okay, and it's dependent on the heat here. Okay, now the fire of the gate of life, does it descend or does it ascend? Okay, so it has to ascend from the kidneys and communicate. Now if we're talking about the kidney and the heart, goes up to the heart and provides heat for the heart's function, right? Okay. Therefore, this fire assists the heart to do what? What's one of the heart's functions? House the mind. Okay. House the mind. So guess what? If you've got a Ming Men that isn't strong, or that's weak, there will be some what kind of challenges? Mental. Remember, heart has to do with mental states, mental challenges, and happiness. Okay. So does everybody understand now? Are we clear? I do want to focus a little bit on the kidney, so you understand the relationship between the kidney and the lung. How does it work? How does it work? Like for respiration, because you can't say, in your understanding for TCM, you can't just say respiration has to do with the lungs in TCM. Okay, you would say that lungs are the respiratory organ, but the kidneys also help coordinate this function of respiration, because in order to keep this qi exchange going, right, the inhaled and refined qi must flow down, must be caught, right, and absorbed by the kidneys. The kidneys grasp and hold this qi, and the kidneys ensure that the lungs receive and circulate the qi. So this is like a circulatory movement. Lungs exhale turbid qi, right? Turbid. You exhale what you don't need. And the kidneys are needed to do what? Right, to pull the qi downward. To grasp. Good. Now what happens, why would you get chronic bronchitis or emphysema or something like that?
This kind of grasp.
If what?
Kind of grasp the qi.
Kidneys are not pulling moisture out of the lungs.
Right, so there's an imbalance in that function, or a reversed flow of qi, or something. Yeah, okay. So do you understand how even it's in TCM, everything in Chinese medicine, I mean, it's interrelated, it's holistic, they're interdependent. And with the kidneys and the lung relationship, what do we have? We have the mother and child, right?
Right.
Mother and child, okay, so in the five element theory. So they depend on each other, right? Mother and child depends on each other physiologically, right? And they influence each other pathologically, because if you have a weak kidney, what happens to the lung, right? The lung also becomes weak, or the lungs function. Got it? Okay. Okay, with the spleen we already discussed it. The spleen, to ensure, again you need to be able to explain this, but the spleen's function is TT, transform and transport. In order to do this, in order to have proper digestion and all this, and to separate clear turbid, and for the spleen to have its ascending motion, right, we need to have warmth. If it's cold, we get the loose stools and everything else, okay? So once the kidney yang is deficient, and if it fails to warm and propel the spleen, the transformation, transportation process is
No good.
no good, okay, is abnormal, okay? The body's yin energy will be too much, okay, which leads to uncontrollable diarrhea and a whole bunch of other things, okay? So the kidneys act as a gate, like a gate to the stomach, and they open anterior urination and posterior defecation, okay? Now with the heart, we explained the heart, the relationship with the heart. It needs, kidneys need to warm, you know, when it sends up its energy, warm the heart. So, and it has to be a balance, otherwise you could be delusional, okay? You won't be as happy, right? Little things like that. So it is, again, they're mutually dependent on each other. And especially here between the fire and the kidney position in the five elements is very, very important, okay? The heart belongs to fire, kidney belongs to water, okay? And they are categorized as, they both possess a yin and a yang property, okay? If there's an abnormal relationship, this dynamic between the two, what happens?
One overpowers the other.
One overpowers the other, right, right. Because they coordinate each other, they control each other, okay? There's too much fire. You're gonna have not enough yin, okay? So it's gonna eat up all, right? And the opposite there. So, under normal circumstances, the heart fire descends to the kidney, right? And then it joins with the kidney yang to warm and propel kidney in. Okay? Kidney water ascends together with heart yin to nourish heart yin. And we're going to expound on this, okay? So it combines together with heart yin to nourish heart yang and prevent it from becoming over hyperactive.